Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm doing another video. Now, I have been so happy to see that you've all been enjoying my Take It to the Dance Floor series. It was just so fun getting to talk to so many of the Next Step cast members. I can't remember how many I've done now. I think it must have been like 8, was it? It was between 5 and 8 interviews. It was really, really good. So that is kind of the end of Take It to the Dance Floor ish, because there's still a couple interviews which are very much up in the air. I did film one, but unfortunately there were issues sending over footage, so I'm hoping to reschedule that and get that up. But yeah, maybe there might be a couple more, but if not, I'm really personally happy with the ones that I've done, and I hope you guys enjoyed them. It was so fun making them. So between now and when season 10 properly gets announced, I'm just going to be doing random videos to just make sure that we're all kind of still thinking about the next step, getting ready for season 10. And like I said, when I kind of unofficially announce season 10, whenever I get any new information, I'll let you know. I've not really got that much more. I've got this press release thing which hints at what cast might be coming back. So if you want me to dive into that, let me know. But I haven't done it yet because I just don't think like we need to yet, because it's kind of obvious that it's speculation, so there's not much within that. So once I get anything important or more solidified, I will let you know. But today's video is one which has been requested, one which I've wanted to do for ages, but it just hasn't really fit in with anything. So now I'm doing random Next Step content. I just thought I'm going to do this because it's one that I wanted to do. So today I'm going to be ranking Michelle's solos on the Next Step. I have rewatched them, I have ranked them, and I'm going to go through my list and explain why I put it at that position. So there's 10 solos, and I'm going to go from, in my opinion, worst to best. In my opinion, there's no bad Michelle solos, but it's just like what I think wasn't as good. But remember, these are my opinions. If you don't agree with them, that's fine. But let me know your opinions on what your favourite Michelle solo is. So coming in at number 10, we've got Michelle's Empire solo. So this solo was one that was, I think she was doing it to a camera when, was it Amy who called LaTroy? It was in season 4. So this showed off a different style with Michelle. We saw a lot of hip hop. And I thought she did really well kind of with the style of dancing, how she moved to the music. But there were 2 reasons why I personally didn't like this as much as the other ones. First of all, I didn't feel like there was a lot of emotion. It was more of a fun solo, which is very important to have fun. But if you think about how Michelle solos can hit you with that emotional backstory, that didn't have it for me, and that's why I probably put it there. I also, like, it was a repeat, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It was like a repeated song, and I love when there's a new song, so that wasn't really Michelle's fault, but just that did kind of play its role in why I didn't like that one very much. So yeah, in last place is Michelle's Empire solo. So in number 9 is Michelle's Don't Lay Low, which is her leaving in season 2 solo. So this is when there was a lot of drama, and Michelle left the studio to kind of focus on herself, and she did a lot more stuff at school sort of thing. So the emotion was there in this solo. We saw how upset she felt, but I wasn't the biggest fan of the choreography. I didn't think it showed off what Victoria, who plays Michelle, could do. I also didn't like the song. It was just, I didn't vibe with that song. Every time I've watched that, I've just been like, that song isn't for me. So the overall vibe I just didn't like, but I also thought it was better than Empire because we had that story which kind of told us what we needed to know. So yeah, number 9 was Michelle's leaving solo in season 2. So this next one you could argue is a duet, but it is the duet that Michelle did with herself in season 4. So technically it's a solo because Michelle was dancing with herself. Like, the other person wasn't real. It was like her imagination, so I'm considering it as technically a solo. So the reason that this one's at number 8, number 1, I really loved the dance. I thought it really showed Michelle growing as a character, coming to terms with what had happened and how she's going to move forward in life. I just think the storyline and the emotion was absolutely phenomenal in that dance. I loved it. Like, it's one of my favorite Michelle dances ever. So the reason why it's quite low on my list is literally because, like, the Next Step's meant to be a reality show. We had the Margie disappearing, which, as you all know, I have opinions about. But also, Michelle should not be dancing with herself. Like, that doesn't happen. It would be understandable if it was from Michelle's perspective, like the entire show, but it's other people's perspective as well. So it just didn't make sense to me. If it was just Michelle doing a solo to that song, then it probably would have won it for me, but that part of it has shoved it right to the back of my list. But no, I did really like that one though. Next is Michelle's Mountains solo. So this is the solo she did in front of Emily and Riley in season 4. So she was meant to perform this at regionals. Obviously, there was that whole Sloane thing solo that happened. So I would have loved to have seen it. I think it would have been really good. The reason this is lower than some of the others, I don't really have a reason. I just didn't love it. Like, there was so much I've loved a lot more, and I just didn't love this one. So I put it there, but I thought it was a really good routine. Again, there was a bit of emotion kind of linking to season 3, Michelle being an alternate and now her growing as a dancer and getting this solo. So I felt that storyline come through, but it just wasn't a favourite routine for me, but it was very, very good. Next is Michelle's home solo in season 5. So this was when she was returning to Studio A after the auditions in Studio 1. Now, I don't know whether many people know this, but I first started watching TNS live when it came out each day. It's season 5, which was quite late compared to a lot of people, but I didn't know about the next step until then. So once I heard about it, I watched it and I loved it. So this was actually the first proper Michelle solo I ever saw, and at the time it was the biggest thing for me. It was insane, and I still think it is insane. I love the song. I just feel like a lot of people can relate to it because, if you return home from a holiday or if you return home from being away for a long time, you feel that sense of calm and completion, and I just feel like that's what came through in that, and I think that I found that quite relatable, kind of knowing how comfortable home can be. So I really like that. I really like the emotion, the dance, but the song, in the episode, the music's kind of off because it echoes too much. You can tell it's the sound they used during filming, not the overlaid sound. So I feel like that's why it's so low. It wasn't really anything to do with the dancing, but when I'm ranking these, I'm thinking about the music, the song, the emotion. So the song quality kind of lowered it for me, but other than that, it was amazing. Next is another season 5 solo by Michelle. It was her Faith solo. Now, I've been talking a lot about emotion in this video, and the emotion in that was absolutely insane. We saw kind of Michelle and Emily having a little bit within that dance. Michelle was really expressing herself. This was when the teams were not allowed to compete at regionals and they thought that was it. So for me, that was a big Michelle solo moment, and I've never forgotten that solo. I always when I watch season 5, it's something which I know is going to come up and I look forward to it. And I don't have anything bad to say about it. This is getting to the point where I've not got many bad things to say. I've just had to kind of go with my gut and pick my favourite. So I feel like from now on, this is just my personal order. There's not really any bad reasoning to it. But yes, Michelle's Faith solo, very, very good. I loved it a load. It was so good. Next is Michelle's Fire Part 2 solo. So one thing I remember watching this for the first time was that we were all in lockdown in 2020, I think it must have been, or it might have been 2021. No, 2020. And I remember watching it and I rewatched that episode millions of times because I was so excited because Michelle was back. And for me, that solo really showed how Michelle had grown as a dancer, how she's improved. Obviously she's been amazing throughout every season, but season 7 was so good. You could tell she was just fiery and it was fierce, and I really loved that for her. And that was the last Michelle solo I think we got, so that always sticks in my mind. So season 10, if Michelle can have a solo, that would be amazing, please, if the Next Step writers are watching, because then I can do another ranking video and that'll be great. This one is probably going to cause some controversy because I don't think people are going to expect this one to be next, but next is Showstopper. Now, Showstopper is probably the most iconic Michelle dance ever. It's really good. I haven't got anything bad to say, but I guess the only thing I can say is the emotion wasn't there because it wasn't that sort of solo. It wasn't meant to be emotional and slow, but I really I don't know, I go for the more emotional solos because I like the storylines that come through in them. Showstopper was iconic and fierce and sassy, and it was really, really good. But that's the only thing that was missing, but it shouldn't have been there anyway, so Showstopper, haven't got anything bad to say about it. It is, of course, memorable. It is the dance we associate with Michelle. I think it probably was Victoria's favourite dance. I don't know that, but I'm assuming. The costume is amazing, the lighting was good, and she won Miss National Soloist, so, you know, very, very good routine. But yeah, that's number 3 on my list. Next up is the battle solo she did against Piper. So I can't remember the name of this, but like, I just loved that routine. Again, there wasn't a lot of emotion. I feel like the drive for this dance was kind of like the fire and the passion. And that was really, really good. And I love the routine. It showed off a different style with Michelle, because we saw her contemporary, but also kind of a bit of hip hop in some ways. We saw her kind of grooving to the song. And I just really liked that. And I think it showed off a different side to Michelle that we'd not seen before. So I would say I always think of Michelle with this dance. Like, I always will remember this dance. And it's definitely my favourite solo of Michelle's in season 4. So that is why it's ranked so highly for me. I know a lot of people will be like, why are you ranking this solo above Showstopper? But for me, I prefer that dance over Showstopper. So yeah, I love that one. So this one is by far my favourite, and I think it's going to shock a lot of people because it was kind of insignificant in the plot line. So this is Michelle's liftoff solo in season 6. Now, if any of you saw my YouTube back in 2020, I used to do random like edit things. Like, I would upload a video and edit it and stuff. And I think the first one I ever did was this solo, because I loved this solo. I loved Michelle's costume, and like I said, emotion I love. And this dance was full of emotion. Michelle kind of reflecting on her time on the next step in her new role that she's got. And I just feel like I really felt that routine. I really felt what she was trying to say. Her moves were elegant. She kind of floated across the stage in the studio, because I think they'd set it up for that competition thing. I don't know. And I just even think her costume glided really nicely. The song was emotional. Like, this is everything that I think of when I think of a Michelle solo. But I used to edit this a lot because I just loved editing it. It was such a good solo. My only downside is that when they uploaded the extended version, they kept in the talking head. I would love to have seen just a clean dance like thing. So if they want to do that, then you can, the Next Step YouTube people. But oh, it was so good. Honestly, I rewatched it earlier when I was getting my clips, and I literally loved it. I haven't watched season 6 in ages. I'm on season 3. I'm on the episode, because I'm doing another rewatch. I'm on season 3, and I'm watching the episode where James and Riley do the anniversary gifts. But I'm watching it in a weird order, because I've gone from season 9, and then I'm going backwards. So I've done 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Now I'm on 3. Then I'm going to do 2 and 1. And it's so weird watching it backwards, but it's actually really entertaining, because I've never done that before. So if you want to kind of change up your Next Step watching pattern, then watch it backwards, because it's actually so different. Like, you know what? It's really weird. Like, it's like reading a book backwards, but that's really fun. But anyway, those are my top 10 Michelle solos and my rankings for them. Let me know what you think about my rankings. I know some of them are a little bit controversial. I mean, I don't know how people are going to feel about Showstopper being number 3, but, you know, let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon for a what if video. I'm about to film it now, and someone commented about it. So yeah, I'll talk about it in the next video, but thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.